Well, this week, the Minnesota legislature will begin its 2016 session. Last year's session was marked by partisan gridlock, with both sides pointing the finger at one another. One issue that is certain to be debated this year is whether Minnesota should switch to a presidential caucus, from a presidential caucus to a primary. Last week's caucuses were plagued with long lines, and some precincts ran out of ballots. Joining us to talk about this and other issues, the Speaker of the Minnesota House, Speaker Kurt Daudt. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good morning, Esme.
All right, let me ask you quickly. Presidential primary, Representative Pat Garofalo is going to put a bill together. Do you think we should have a primary instead of a caucus?
Well, I think we're going to have a discussion about it. There was a lot of folks who were frustrated by the process on Tuesday night, and I think there's not an understanding why everybody needs to show up at the same time to vote. We normally, during a primary or general election, allow people to vote throughout the day when it's convenient, and I think there will be a good discussion about whether we should move to that. But it's a good sign that more people want to be involved in the process.
Okay. You were certainly one of the most prominent Republican elected officials in the state of Minnesota. Who are you endorsing for president?
Well, I originally was with Governor Scott Walker from Wisconsin, and when he got out of the race, I did not publicly endorse anyone else and have not made a decision on that yet. I'm kind of watching to see how things play out, and I've stopped making predictions about what I think might happen, but it's been very interesting to watch.
A number of Republican officials, both nationwide here in Minnesota, are expressing concern about the tone of the GOP presidential contest, and concern that that could spill over and affect Republican results and Republican candidates at the state and local level. Right. The entire legislature, including yourself, up for re-election in November. Are you worried about that?
Well, not necessarily. We have been doing our best to set our own destiny and really connect with Minnesotans by solving and putting out solutions to the problems that they're most worried about. And we think that we've done a great job last session, and look forward to what we think will be a successful session this year. And we think that will help us. Of course, the presidential race always has an impact, but it remains to be seen who our candidate will be yet. On the Democrat side, I agree with Senator Frank, and I think it looks like Hillary Clinton will likely be the nominee.
But many Republicans basically are acknowledging that their party is in crisis, so badly splintered with this Donald Trump candidacy. Are you worried about that?
Well, I think we are to a certain extent, but we're also excited that there's so much excitement building on the Republican side. People are really engaged, and I think that's part of what brings out the passion in people. Folks just aren't happy with the last 8 years of the Obama presidency, and would like to see this country go a different direction. I think that's why you see Donald Trump and, frankly, Bernie Sanders both doing well across the country, as they're both kind of non-conventional candidates. And I think that speaks to the fact that folks aren't happy with the Obama administration. All right.
Let's talk about the legislative session, which starts on Tuesday. Gridlock may not be a strong enough word for what happened last time and last session. What are your priorities, and realistically, what can get done?
I would actually describe the last session a little bit differently. We think we had a pretty successful session, and I know Senator Bach has said the same thing. It obviously was, because it needed to be a very bipartisan session. We got a lot of really good things done. The governor doesn't look at it the same way, because he didn't get a lot of his priorities done, but he'll have another chance this year to engage on those. Our priorities for this session are, number one, we want to put some significant, meaningful tax relief into the pockets of middle-class Minnesotans, and we'd also like to put a significant long-term investment into our road and bridge infrastructure all across the state.
All right, in terms of tax relief, are we talking Jesse Ventura rebates to people or tax cuts? And what about the surplus? What would you like to see done with that?
Sure. I don't think we're talking about those kinds of checks. I think what we're talking about, we're proposing three things that I've been highlighting recently. Number one, we'd like to exempt Social Security income from state income tax. We're only one of 7 states that does that. We think all seniors in the state could use a raise right away by doing that. We'd also extend that to veterans' retiree benefits. We would do a college tuition tax credit to help graduates paying off college debt. And then we also are proposing a new tax deduction for most middle-class Minnesotans. It would hit about 2 million people, that would put real money back into their pockets. And so between that and the road and bridge infrastructure, that's how we'd like to see that surplus used.
All right, and certainly you and the governor had a parting of ways over an attempt to have a special session. I mean, are those fences mended? And then you've got the Senator Bach out there as well. I mean, you've painted a sunny portrait of everybody being able to get along. Is that really for real?
You know, I think that we can, and what I've been talking about recently is let's focus on the areas where we agree. We all know this is going to be a shorter session than usual, about 10 weeks. It's about as short as we've had in recent history. It's because of the construction at the Capitol. And we just figure if we focus on the areas where we all agree, we'll have a successful session. If we start bringing in things that are more controversial, that don't have common agreement, like a gas tax or some of those more controversial things, it's going to be more difficult to get our job done. But I believe that we can if we all work together.
All right. Well, Speaker Kurt Daudt, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you, Esme.
All right. Well,